Hey, welcome to Yoga for Length and Strength. Technically, all yoga that we do really does provide length, strength, balance, focus, but I'm just going to focus on that as we move through some poses today, finding that length and that strength in everything that we do, and it just kind of feels good in the body. So it is like summer in Texas, and you get the accompaniment of cicadas occasionally. So that will be part of our practice today because I am outside as often as possible and I live and practice outside. So I'm going to have some blocks and a strap available for me today since we are going to do some hamstring stretching. And that does come in handy sometimes if you have really tight hamstrings. So if you want to use a strap or a towel or a belt or whatever you've got, go grab that and I'll meet you on the mat. So if you've got your blocks and your strap, go ahead and just bring them to the front of your mat. We're going to call this side the front, right? And then just find a spot facing the front of your mat with your feet parallel underneath your body. Go ahead and close your eyes and just come into your body and start to focus on your breath. Feeling your breath going in and out. Part of what I love about yoga, the first thing I fell in love with about yoga is what it did to me internally, what it did to me in my reflection and my introspection as I moved through these poses. The poses were just part of the process, so I just like to bring that in as we move and stretch and find the length and the strength today to just kind of reflect like what's going on, be mindful about each moment as we experience it. Feel all your feet on the ground. Maybe you can rock back and forward. Feel the weight in the balls of your feet and then the heels of your feet. And then find somewhere in the middle. Find some kind of middle ground. Find your balance. On an exhale, allow your shoulder blades to draw down the back, giving your neck a little bit more length. Allow that energy to continue down your low back. Maybe your low back finds a little length, so don't think of it as tucking your tailbone, just finding length in your low back. Allow that energy to go all the way down the backs of your thighs and root in through the ground. Now think of that energy looping back around, coming up through the front of your body, the front of your legs, up your shins, up your thighs, up through your pelvis, your whole pelvic bowl, up your belly, up your heart. Your heart starts to lift. Your neck is long in the front, and it comes up out the top of your head. I want you to imagine your breath creating that big loop. So on an inhale, all that energy starts to rise up the front of your body. Your heart lifts. On an exhale, you draw down, any tension draws down and out your back down, and you root through the ground. Exhale. Inhale, it loops back around, up through the front of your body, up through the top of your head, and on an exhale, it loops back around and down through the back of your body and into the ground. Continue to imagine that loop of your breath running through your body, running through that energy of your body, coming up through your heart on the inhale, up through the top of your head, lifting you nice and tall and long, and exhale, rooting you down and strong through the ground. Focusing on just that. You can start to count your breath. You can count 4 in or 4 out, or 5 in and 5 out, but choose an equal number so that your inhale is the same length as your exhale. As you are doing this, I want that rooting to the ground and that stretching to the sky to start to feel like maybe perhaps you're growing taller. Imagine growing taller. Imagine finding space amongst all the bones in your body, and at the same time finding a little peace and ease, right? A little relaxation. I like to always talk about the opposing forces in yoga. So we're finding strength and ease at the same time. We're rooting and reaching at the same time. We're going to start tying in some movement with this. Now on your inhale, arms reach up, palms face each other, Shoulders stay down. Exhale, turn your palms out and slowly let them guide all the way down to the side of your body. Now, if anybody has any shoulder impingements, keep those arms a little bit in front of you. And they don't have to go all the way up. You stop where your comfort level is, turn your palms out, exhale them all the way down. Keeping that same number, inhale, exhale, whatever yours is. Move with your breath. Look for ease and length. Reaching tall, but our shoulders stay down. We feel all that length all along the back of our spine. Inhaling, drawing your arms up, rotating your palms out, and exhaling. Let your arms just rest at your side. You can shake them if you need to shake anything out. We're going to move into sun salutations, and we're just going to find some length and strength throughout those. We're just going to explore them as we go, even if you've done them a million times. Sometimes it's good just to kind of revisit that feeling. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold with a gentle bend in your knees. Now stay here. Let's just stay here a second and start to feel that length in our spine as our head draws towards the ground, especially in your low back. With that bend in your knees, you can start to find a little more space. Find that length in your low back while your feet stay strong and rooted into the ground. Neck is long. Maybe you shake your head a little. Shake it no, nod it yes. Check in to see if you can let go of any more tension in there. On an inhale, palms come to shins, half lift. Shoulders draw away, giving length to the neck. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. Now, if you have any wrist issues, you're welcome to use your knuckles or anything you need to do here. Step back into a plank. Now, find length. Draw your head away from your heels. Your belly draws in. Your knees come down. Untuck your toes. We're going to take this first chaturanga easy on ourselves. We're just going to lower halfway. So you're still going to be a bit up off the ground, and then draw your heart forward, shoulders draw down your spine. Baby cobra. Check in with your back muscles. Maybe come up to your fingertips. We're working that strength here. Maybe your hands come up off the ground entirely. Plant your hands, push up to your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, downward dog. All right, here we go for some length. Feel that back of your thighs all the way down the backs of your legs, finding that length as your hips reach for the sky. Feel the strength as your palms, the entire hand and palm and fingers press into the ground. Find length in your neck by allowing your shoulders to draw away from your neck, even in this upside down position. So what that means, instead of your shoulders drawing down your spine, they're actually kind of drawing up towards the sky. Breathing in that cyclical breath that we were breathing in the beginning, right? Even breath. You can also think of it like an infinity symbol, where each side is equal. Your inhale is equal to your exhale, and you just keep breathing like that. Look up at your hands. You're going to take your right foot and you're going to step it up towards your right hand and step up your left foot. Find that forward fold again, that space in your low back, and let your spine elongate towards the ground as you hang in this forward fold. Bend your knees. If you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. If you don't want to bend your knees, you can straighten your legs. As you go through this, and you find those moments where you can relax and release, just occasionally check in. How are you feeling? What you thinking? Can you come back to this moment? Can you just be here now? Can you just be in your body? And sometimes, some days are harder than others. Some days the struggle is much more difficult to be in this moment. So continue to come back, even if it's 1,000 times. Come back and give yourself this opportunity just to be here in this moment. Feel your body move. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Oh, exhale, bring your arms to your side. Feel that length, your head reaching for the sky, your feet pressing into the ground, your body reaching in opposite direction. Your neck has tons of space and length because your shoulders draw down your back. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. find that length here. So stay here 1 second. Shoulders draw away from your ears. Your head draws straight out in front of you. Your nose is still facing the ground. We're allowing the back of our neck to have all that length. So if we look up, we're crunching that back side of our neck. So let's let it be long. And then fold. Plant your hands. Step back to a plank. You can put your knees down again and find a little supported, modified plank, or you can keep your knees up this time. Now imagine your heels are drawing back and your head is drawing forward. You're going to feel your core engage even more when you do that. Now breathe here. So this is strength and length in one pose, right? We're finding length in our body, and that is building more strength just by finding that space. Breathe in, wrap your triceps, lower down halfway, inhale. Baby cobra down low, or you can extend your arms all the way, pressing the tops of your feet into the ground for upward facing dog. Now we're finding length still in the back of our neck, so we're looking straight ahead, not towards the sky. Exhale, you can move back to your downward facing dog however you want. Now let's drop one heel on the other, right? Walk our dog out, finding a little extra length in either side of the leg. And then find a neutral, pressing into your palms, hips reaching for the sky. Imagine all that length along your spine as your hips reach up, and the length all along the backs of your legs as your heels come down, draw down towards the ground. Continuing that breath. Occasionally we'll forget. We get wrapped up in our movement, in our what we're doing, and what we're second guessing ourselves in, or I don't know, maybe even our laundry list of things to do later today. Just keep coming back to the breath. Just be so patient with yourself, and understanding and loving. Inhale, look at your hands, step your left foot forward, and then your right foot forward into that forward fold. If you haven't already, dangle here by holding your elbows and letting your top of your head, if you have a ponytail, your ponytail will draw towards the ground. If you don't, just the crown of your head is drawing straight towards the ground. So I don't want you to feel like you have to bring your nose to your knees and curl yourself. I just want you to practice hanging, letting go, finding length in your spine, ease in your jaw, your temples, your thoughts. See what happens with your length when you draw your belly in towards your spine here. Perhaps you can find a little bit more length. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Reach for the sky, find that length all along both sides of the body. Pressing your feet into the ground, shoulders coming down, fingers reaching for the sky. Exhale, palms out, come to your side. Mountain pose, strong, tall, strength and ease, strength and length, all at the same time. We're going to add on, inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift, finding length everywhere we can. Exhale, step back into your plank. Heels reach away, head reaches away, long line. Inhale. Exhale, lower, just halfway. Inhale. Heart draws forward into baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few really deep breaths here, right? Those cyclical breaths that we've been taking, those even breaths. And then allow yourself to find some stillness here. Pressing the whole palm, allowing the shoulders to draw up towards the sky, the hips draw towards the sky, and your heels drawing towards the ground. They don't have to touch the ground, you know. We just imagine that maybe they will someday, and if they don't, that's cool. That's okay too. On an inhale, we're going to step forward with our right foot. We're moving into a crescent lunge. But before we come up to a crescent lunge, I want you just to come up to your fingertips. I want your shoulders to draw down your back. Maybe your fingers come back a little bit. Now, think about this back heel. So our right foot has come forward. I'm going to switch so I can mirror you. And our left heel is back. Imagine your left heel reaching away from the crown of your head and the crown of your head reaching out towards off the front of your mat. And your fingertips are going to come up off the ground. Your arms are going to reach alongside your ears. Reach, reach, reach. Find that space. Find that length from fingertip to heel. Belly draws in. Inhale all the way up to crescent lunge. Now I'm going to give you some arm options here. So if you have a shoulder impingement or a tweaky shoulder like me, you can do cactus arms, or you can draw your arms all the way back behind you, interlace your fingers, and open your heart this way. Now, strength and length are happening here. So this front knee is deeply bent as to your level of comfort. We're going to keep breathing. And you're finding a lot of length in this extended left leg and the front side of your body, your open heart. So if you are here, we're opening this front side. That's the length. The strength is in the feet pressing into the ground and holding us strong. Now while you're here, imagine your thighs drawing in towards the midline. That might bring a little more length to this left hip. Imagine them drawing in, and it might even bring your hip forward. Inhaling. We're still breathing, breathing, breathing. We're moving into warrior two, opening up to the side of your mat. Now this is my favorite place to find length. Our arms are literally pushing in opposite directions, so our fingertips are reaching. Imagine them trying to reach farther than our toes. Just imagine it. Feel that length while this knee stays totally bent. The outside blade of that foot is pressing in, and our head is reaching for the sky. So it's almost like a star, right? That's where our energy is going in all those directions. Our shoulders stay down our back so that our neck still has all that space. Big breath in. Exhale. On an inhale, we're moving into triangle pose. So we're straightening that front leg. Hip is drawing back, reaching forward. Find the length first. Just reach out and past that front foot and then move into triangle. Now from here, I want you to imagine these arms pulling apart from each other, finding that length, and finding the length from rib to hip. So that includes this bottom right rib. Find that length as it draws away from that hip, opening up towards the sky, opening the heart, finding length there. Our legs are the strength. Our length is in the core of our body and our heart as our arms draw away. Now take this top left arm and I want you to reach it up towards the front of your mat and find even more space along your ribs, your left ribs. I just love the way this feels in all this space right here, right in these top ribs. Now we're going to move into reverse triangle, so our legs stay straight, and we're going to find space in these right ribs. You can use this back arm as support, or you can float it and get a little extra strength and length at the same time. Breathing into those right ribs. Inhale, we're going to cartwheel our arms all the way down to the ground. Rotate that back foot back into your crescent legs. Step forward into forward fold. Big inhale. Exhale, relax your chin, relax your jaw, relax your thoughts. Inhale all the way up, arms come up. Exhale, let's just dive right back down. Shall we? Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, step back with your left foot. Now find that length. Find that length from heel to crown of your head, reaching your arms alongside your ears, out in front of you. There's a lot of strength happening here, drawing your thighs together. Inhale, coming all the way up. So you're on your other leg now, just in case I said the wrong name. Other leg. If you're not there, you can jump, hop, and switch it. We're going to inhale. Now find those same arms, or find different arms actually for that matter. It doesn't matter. On this other side, in your crescent, finding that length all the way through the front side body and the strength in your legs. I'm jump switching. Big inhale, opening up to your warrior two. Arms reaching far, far away from each other, keeping this deep bend in your left leg that's in the front. So yeah, I did say the wrong leg. Big inhale, reaching those arms, finding that length, finding the length amongst your whole midsection of your body and the strength of your legs, reminding yourself you can do it. If you need to straighten it, just take a quick break, take a quick breather, and then just dive back in. Breathing in length, length, length. Like imagine that star. We're going to move into that triangle. Hip reaches back, extending that front left leg, reaching out and over. Stay here for a second first. Reach out and over. This is like the hip popping pose. Everybody tends to pop when we get there. I'm going to face you. And then find your way into your triangle. Finding that length along your ribs. So now you've got your right side ribs on the top. And you're going to find that length as your head draws away from your ribs, away from your hips. I think away from your hips. Yeah, that's what I meant. Now take that top arm, that right arm, and reach it up and over. Reach towards the front of the mat. So you're finding that space. You're finding this space here. Finding that space from hip to fingertip, all along that top space. You can float your hand, or if you do have a block and you want to use a block, or a book, or a stool, or whatever you've got, you can use that to help support you and guide you into that place of finding that length. When you're here, your kneecap is drawing up. So your quad is engaged. That's going to really fire up that hamstring length. You're going to feel it even more. See what happens. Experiment. On an inhale, coming all the way up to your reverse triangle. Drawing that back left hand down, right hand down, left hand comes up and over your head. Finding that length all along that left side of the body now. From hip, this space in between your hip and your rib, and then all along your ribs. All that is finding all that space. And then cartwheel your hands all the way down to the ground. Plant your hands. Step back to your plank. Actually, no, step forward to your forward fold. Yeah, let's go there. Big breath in, sweeping all the way up. Exhale, go ahead and bring your hands to your heart for a second. Just reflecting. Let's just reflect for a second on how you're feeling. So we're staying in some of these poses a little longer in order to find that length. Sometimes we might get wobbly, we might get judgmental, it might get difficult, or it might feel really good. Just notice what you're feeling. Just notice it. And then don't be hard on yourself or judgmental. Just learn. Learn from this experience. Maybe you have an intention that you've set or a mantra. Just to be present. Be here now. Find some joy. Enjoy me time. Whatever it is, reflect on that for a moment. You're here. You're here. You're doing it. Big inhale, arms reach up. We're going to add on. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back with your left foot. And then your right foot into your plank. You can do supported plank with your knees down, or you can go knees up. Inhale, press the ground. Draw your belly into your spine. Exhale, lower halfway. And then drawing through to baby cobra or upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. All right, we're moving into that crescent lunge again. So now this time, let's inhale, lifting our left leg up into the air. Let's find a little length. So pressing both hands into the ground, toes reaching for the sky. Find a little length, maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. And then step forward in between your hands. Now your heel draws away from your head. Your arms reach alongside your head. Inhale all the way up, opening that heart space. However you did it. in your crescent lunge. Big breath in. Opening up to warrior two. Warrior two. I'm fixing my mic. My mic came off. I don't want to lose it and have it fall out. Finding length between both arms, right? Reaching away. Your head is reaching up. When you reach your head up, when you imagine your head reaching up, you'll feel your core engage even more because you're creating all that space. All this kind of draws in. And your knee is shooting out. Your back foot is rooted in, your blade of your foot. Inhale, extending your front leg, moving into triangle, reaching your arms away, away, away the whole time. You can use that block here if you want a little support. Reaching away. So if you're using a block, press into the ground and reach away to the sky at the same time. See how that feels. Just reflect. Finding all that space. Our shoulders are still drawing away from our ears at all times, so we don't want to let them start crunching up where we start curving our spine. We draw them down, and that's going to help us keep our heart and chest open and our spine long, and then we can find more space. Reversing your triangle, sliding your back hand, reaching over, finding that space. Oh, you know what? Return to your triangle. I forgot my favorite part. Reach your arm up and over your head to the front of your mat, finding that extra space alongside your ribs. Big breath in. Now you reverse your triangle, drawing that right arm up and over. Big breath. Now we're going to go back down into we're moving, cartwheeling into a low lunge, planting our hands on either side of our foot, dropping our back knee, untucking our toe, and allowing, maybe you even might wiggle that front foot forward or in off to the right a little bit. If your right foot is forward, move it to the right. If your left foot is forward, move it to the left. Allowing that length to come into this front hip, right? So this left hip that's here is going to sink down. You're finding length. Now let's also find length along our spine. So just like when we were in our crescent lunge, we're going to draw our heart forward, shoulders back. Big breath in. Finding that length. Long, flat back. So this is where blocks will come in handy. You can, if you are having a curve to reach the ground, you need to bring the ground up to you. You can grab some blocks, books, whatever you want, and use that to get that flat back and draw that heart forward, shoulders back. Find that extra length. We're going to rock back into a half Hanuman, so what's called a half split. Don't be fooled. We're not really doing a split, but we are going to get this stretch in this front hamstring. So let me say something about this. Sitting back like this, all the way on our heel, won't actually get us as much of a stretch. So I'm going to ask that you keep these 90-degree angles here. And if you need to wiggle this front extended leg out, you can. And then make sure that this hip of this front extended leg is actually drawing back. So draw that hip back and then start to extend forward, hinge forward with a flat back so that your belly goes to your thigh first. That'll get into the back of that hamstring, the back of that thigh. Head is reaching long and towards the front of the mat, not the leg. Belly goes to thigh first. So we're finding that length here. Lots of length in the back side of that leg, your right leg that's extended in front of you. Now from here, you can leave your blocks in front of you and start to walk your hands toward the side of the mat, opening yourself up into gate. So keep walking, rotating this bent knee until you reach up and over. Find that length all along the side of the body. Length, length, length. We're going to put a little strength into here. We're going to go, so we're going to press into the ground with this left arm, lifting our rooted knee and touch our elbow. So we're going to do 4. Let's say 4. We press in. This knee comes up. We're going to go 1, extend. 2, extend. Find that length. Strength and length. 1 more. Extend. We've survived. Plant both hands towards the back of the mat. Keep rotating this bottom leg until you find yourself in a pigeon. What? So if you want a support under your left hip to get into pigeon so that you're not rocking out like this, you can use a block, a blanket to put it under this left hip to keep yourself squared towards the front of your mat. All right, so here we're back to length. So we're just going to find our way into a pigeon, into your pigeon, whatever you want it to be. If you have tweaky knees and having your shin parallel feels better or farther away from your body, you're welcome to do that. If your hip says no, then you can bring your heel a little bit closer to your hip and start to walk your hands forward. Bow your head towards the ground. You can use stacked fists, stacked blocks, blankets, pillows to find a little ease here. Now I want you to return to that cyclical breath again. Yeah, remember that guy? We're still doing it. So breathing in and breathing out. Allow yourself to find ease. This can be intense for me personally, and so I imagine other people might experience the same. I know people that get into this pose and feel like $1,000,000. Allow yourself, whether you feel either way, to enjoy some peace and calm here, just for a few breaths. So if you find yourself squeezing, holding on, or tensing anything, tell your brain to tell your body it's okay. It's okay. Let go. Keep breathing. Breathe. Our breath is going to guide us and remind us that we are okay. Everything's going to be okay, even when we're not on the mat doing a yoga pose. On an inhale, we're going to press ourselves back up. Plant both hands firmly into the ground. We're going to tuck the back toe, the extended leg, and we are just going to press until we can lift this front pigeon leg up off the ground. And then we're going to tap our knee to the ground and draw it back up 4 times. Strength. Tap, draw it up. Tap, draw it up. Tap, draw it up. One more. Tap, draw it up. And downward facing dog. Oh yeah. Big breath in. Step your feet to your hands. Forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, palms to your heart. Checking in with that mantra or that intention. I am here now. I am present. Everything will be okay, whatever it is. Big breath in. Arms reach up. Forward fold. Half lift. Forward fold. Now look, we're facing the other way. We're just going to do it the other way. So you're stepping back with your left. Actually, you're stepping back to plank. Plank to plank first. Big breath in. Find that length. Belly comes into spine when you find the length. You can have your knees up or down. Lower halfway. Draw your heart forward so you can be up dog or baby cobra, whatever feels good on your back. Exhale, down dog. All right, now your left leg's going to go up. You're going to find that length towards the sky. You're going to reach a little higher, maybe a little higher. Okay, maybe a little bit higher. And step forward into your crescent. Find that length before you come up, reaching that back heel, that right heel back, your head forward. Inhale all the way up to your crescent lunge. Breathing in, opening the front side body however you did it before. Pressing into the ground with that front leg. Strength and length. Inhale, opening up to your warrior 2. Imagining that star energy, right? It's going up and down and out to the sides. Arms reaching out, heart is open. Continuing that cyclical breath. I'm just going to keep reminding you because I know that we have to often come back back to that because our brains have a tendency to wander, and that's normal, and that's because we're human. So I'm just going to just keep coming back to that breath. Extending the front leg, moving into your triangle. You can use your block or not. Reaching your arms away from each other, finding that length in between your arms, in your heart space. There's length happening in this front extended leg too, I imagine. I feel it. Continuing to breathe. Now reach that arm up and towards the front of your mat. Finding that extra length along your side ribs on your right side of your body. Maybe looking up for towards the sky. Wow, my words just failed me. Inhaling, coming all the way up, reversing your triangle. Finding the length on the other side of your rib cage. Maybe you float your back hand and you work on that balance. I got love bugs all over the place doing yoga with me today. Cartwheeling your hands all the way down. We're moving into that low lunge. So rotating your back foot, lowering your knee, untucking your toe, and allowing this right hip to sink forward while you find the space along your back. I'm going to get my blocks again and bring them over here with me so that I can find even more length in my back and my front hip, my hip that's opening, so your right hip. My shoulders are continuing to come back to drawing my shoulders down so that I can allow all this length around my neck and my neck to have all this spaciousness. And then I kind of check in with my jaw and my temples, because that's sometimes where the tension seems to travel. All right, now we're going to rock back, extending our front leg. So draw that hip back, long spine, and then imagine the belly coming to the thigh first. Continuing that breath work, that round or infinity breath, that even breath. Inhale for the same amount of time that you exhale. All right, we're walking our hands around to the front of our mat for gate, so that this shin is just going to pivot and get parallel with the front of our mat. Walk our hand all the way around and find all that length from fingertip to the blade of your foot. Length, length, length. Reaching. Finding that length all along that side body, the whole left side of the body. Then we're going to press into the ground, and we're going to do our knee to elbow tap. Press in, drawing that up, that bottom knee up. Exhale, tap. Inhale, length. Exhale, strength. 3, 4. Plant it. Move it all the way around. Keep rotating on this knee until you make your way into a pigeon. Voila, here we are. So draw that knee behind that right knee behind that right wrist. Set up for your pigeon. If you used a block for your head support on the other side, grab it and bring it over here. Get yourself situated. And then slowly start to allow yourself to just move into that pigeon. And then come back to your breath. Let your breath be your focus over these next couple moments in this position, in this pose. Let your exhale be the invitation for tension to leave. Every time you exhale, pack the tension up with it and escort it out the door. you'll notice as you sit here and as that tension starts to leave your body, you start to move deeper and deeper into the pose. On an inhale, press your hands back up, tuck your back toe. We're going to press in, lifting our front shin up off the ground, and we're going to tap our knee down 4 times. 1, lift it up. 2, lift it up. 3, last one. 4, lift it up, and then step back into downward facing dog. Finding that length all along our spine, right? Imagine that there's space in between each individual vertebrae. Then I want you to imagine that as your hips reach for the sky, your heels melt towards the ground, creating more length in the back of your legs. Check in with your jaw. Check in with your temples. Let everything go. Enjoy some ease, right? We are working some muscles here and some strength, but we can also find some ease. We actually can. Big breath in, exhale, look at your hands, and I want you to step your feet to the outside of your hands. We're moving into a yogi squat. So stepping all the way to the outside of your hands, squatting down. Can you turn that off? All right, we're moving into a yogi squat. So you can use a block if you want to use a block here to help you get some length in your spine, or you can press your elbows into the insides of your knees and press your palms together to bring your heart forward and also get a long spine. So we're looking to find length. You do it however you want to do it. So we're getting some opening in our hips, but I want you to find that long spine length here just for a few breaths. And then, as gently as you possibly can, we're just going to sit ourselves all the way down on the ground. All right, extend your legs out in front of you. You can have that block and that strap around. We're about to use it. So you can have a block. I'm going to place the block in between my legs. I like to do this. And we're moving into a seated forward fold. And I like to have a place to rest my head so that I don't hold that tension. You can do it a number of ways, whatever's comfortable with you. We're just going to fold over our legs. So here's a couple things you can do. You have a number of things, as always. You can put a blanket underneath your knees and keep a little bend in your knees if that feels good. So you can go get a blanket or a towel. I'm going to use a block and probably my fists to sit in this forward fold. And just like in pigeon, as we exhale, we'll notice that we start to let go of more and more tension, and we'll be able to sink a little bit further into the pose and kind of relinquish that tenseness and that stress as we sit here a little bit with our breath. So go ahead and fold forward. Find your comfort to the level of whatever you want it to be, right? Whatever kind of support you want for your head or not. Just go ahead and fold your body over your legs. Now, first, check in, see if your knees are gripping. Are they squeezing your thighs, your quadriceps? If you're resting your head on anything, I encourage you to move that from your knees down towards your shins so that we're encouraging our spine to get long and not as curved. So it might mean we stay up a little higher, but we're finding more length that way. Continuing that cyclical breath. breath here. Sit up. We're going to plant our hands right behind us, a couple inches, fingertips facing our hips. We're going to squeeze our legs together. Our ankles come together. Our toes are going to point. We're moving into a reverse plank, pressing our feet and our hands into the ground. We're lifting our hips up, dropping our head back, finding length from toe to heart. Breathe in. Find so much length along the front side of your body. Press your hands into the ground with all that strength. Exhale. Sit your hips back down and then fold forward again, slowly. Take a few breaths here. Every exhale is an invitation to release something you might be gripping or holding on to. Every exhale can take it out the door. Coming back up, planting your hands behind your hips, pointing your toes, ankles together. Inhale, reverse plank. Breathing in and out. Pressing into those hands, finding that length all along the front side of your body from your toes to your heart. Lowering your hips, bending your knees. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to let's take our right leg. We're going to cross it over into a figure four, right? So I'm going to face you real quick so you can see what's happening. So this knee is turned out. It's pressed away from my body, okay? So from here, I want you to just walk that bottom foot in real close. Long spine. This is plenty, just right here. This is finding length along our whole right bent leg, back side of our thighs, our hips, and you can cross this over. We're gonna just gonna keep it exactly where it is. Let it sink towards the ground so that your right foot hits the ground. You're gonna take your left hand and you're gonna just get a twist. And keep everything where it is and just get a twist. Looking back over your right shoulder. So we're finding length in our spine in that twist. And we're coming back to center. We're going to press up into a reverse tabletop with that figure four leg. So our hips come all the way up, even with our shoulders and our knees. You can drop your head back. And that right bent knee is dropping out. Sit your hips down. Grab this foot that's crossed over your thigh. Open up this left leg, and you can grab your strap here if you want and extend that right leg. Long spine, shoulders down. Just a few breaths here. Your leg can be wherever, and you can keep a little bend in there if that feels comfortable. Bend. Release the strap. Bend both knees in front of you. Put your hands behind you and then rock your knees back and forth just for a little release in those hips. All right, now we're going to cross over our left leg, goes over our thigh, foot stays flexed. And we're just going to walk our right foot towards our hip. Right? So we're going to decrease this space right there. And we're going to use our back hands behind us to press into the ground, lift our heart. Take a couple breaths here. We're going to stay on the ground for the rest of this. We're wrapping it up. We're coming towards the finish line. You did it. You did it. Go ahead and let that sink all the way over to the side. Left foot hits the ground. Left hip stays into the ground, and get a little twist out of that. Long spine, and then look over your back left shoulder. Come back to the center. We're going to push up into that reverse tabletop with our figure four legs. So lifting those hips, dropping your head back, finding that length, pressing into our hands with all our strength, breathing. Still breathing, always breathing. One more breath, and then coming down. Turning our right leg out, grabbing our strap if you needed it, or extending this left leg with your hands. Long spine, however you want to do it. If you'd like to move all the way into a compass pose, I should have said this on the other side, you're welcome to move into compass pose here, or just get this stretch and this length in the backs of our thighs. We're also looking for length in our spine, so we're avoiding this rounded spine as much as we can and finding length. And then bend that knee, bend both knees, and then again, we're just going to let them drop side to side and just kind of swishy. These the official yoga term of moving our legs back and forward. Swishy. All right. So now, one last thing, the lastest of things, last-ish. We're going to move into our boat. So our boat is our strength, right? It's our core strength. So our shins can be parallel or they can be extended straight, however you want to do it. We're finding that strength. We're pulling our core into the midsection of our body, in towards our spine, and our spine gets long. Big breath in. Now, while staying with this strength, we're also going to find length in our low boat, or our canoe, as I like to call it. So we're lowering, but our shoulder blades and our thighs aren't coming down to the ground, and then we're coming back up to our boat. Let's do that 3 more times. Lowering to our low boat, and then coming back up. Lowering, and then coming back up. Last one, lower, hold. And then lower everything down. Big breath in, side out your mouth. We need a additional twist. We kind of did one already when we were seated. You're welcome to get a twist in here, or you can set yourself up for your Shavasana. This is our time to just release everything and just be and let our body be still. It's hard to be still. For some people, I should say. It's hard for me to be still. So once I get still, sometimes, especially after a yoga class, it gives you an opportunity to reflect a little deeper, a little bit more. So find your position on your back, legs extended, arms at your side. You don't need to put any effort towards anything here. You get to just be. That's like the beauty of this. Just be. Your fingers are going to curl naturally. Your feet are going to fall out a little bit. However they fall is perfectly fine. You can get a pillow. You can get a blanket. You can set yourself up. Do all the things and then allow yourself stillness, a moment of just doing nothing. I think it's highly underrated, the do nothingness. I think it's incredibly beneficial, and I think that's when all our best ideas come, when we have a moment to be still and listen. That's when our revelations come. That's when our aha moments come. That's when our creativity kicks in. You can let go of thinking about cyclical breath and just breathe. Breathe as you would normally breathe, without even thinking about it. Enjoy the weight of your body on your mat. start to gradually increase your breath. Start to deepen it. Don't increase it. You deepen it. Start to move your fingers and toes and maybe stretch your fingers out. Roll your ankles. Reach your arms up above your head. Stretch, full body stretch along the ground. And then roll over to your side and make a little pillow with your arms and just rest in that fetal position just for a second as we come back out of this Shavasana to re-enter the world. Keeping your eyes closed, push yourself up to just a comfortable seated position. Place your hands on your heart. You can place them flat on your heart or palm to palm. Inhale your heart up into your hands. Sigh it out your mouth. Allow yourself some gratitude towards yourself for taking the time without any guilt, any selfishness, nothing like that. Some very necessary moments for yourself to experiment with slowing down and finding some length and strength and some places where we can apply our breath to calm our mind and energize our body at the same time. It is possible to be two totally opposing things at the same time. Strong and peaceful. Big breath in. Sigh it out one more time. Open your eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me and choosing to get on your mat for you. More importantly, I hope that you take something from this practice out into your daily life, and I hope it makes your life just a little bit better, and I hope it lightens your mood and makes you feel a little bit more joyful today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Peace out.